Welcome to Junior Historians. I'm Darcy, the middle school librarian at the St. Charles Public Library. Joining me is our former mayor, Mr. Rogina. Today we're exploring the history of the municipal building. Mr. Rogina, what do they mean when they say municipal?
Well, Darcy, municipal comes, and the word municipality comes from the Latin municipium, which means free city, and it means that this city, which is a corporation, has its own governing body. And by that I mean a city council that develops the policy for the city. So municipality, it only stands the reason that this becomes the city's municipal center.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I know in the past this site has been the placement of many other buildings. When was it decided to put the municipal building here?
Well, I did a little research, and backing up in 1836, this was a sawmill, and it was a sawmill from 1836 through 1895 when there was a fire that destroyed the sawmill. What happened from there was on that site, Crown Electric Company and St. Charles Fixtures built warehouses here that stood until another fire hit in the late 20s, more specifically in 1929. It's at that point that the Norrises, Lester and Delora Norris, came in and purchased the property. The property stood vacant for 10 years as they decided what to do with it. And in 1939, construction started on this new building, the Municipal Center. And the building is a gift to the city of St. Charles. It was deeded over to the city of St. Charles on Labor Day of 1940 and accepted by, at that time, Mayor I.G. Langham.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about the architectural style? Like, what makes it unique?
Well, first of all, the architect for this building was H. Harold Zook. And what he did was he designed a building that we call today a building that's art moderne. Now, if I may, and I'm no art expert, everybody is familiar with Art Deco. Art Deco, particularly in Miami Beach, and a couple of buildings that we're all familiar with, the Chrysler Building and the Empire State Building in New York City, are Art Deco. Vertical emphasis, lots of color, sharp angles and patterns. Well, Art Moderne is a little bit different. If you look at the building here, you see the emphasis is horizontal, white, simple curves. And this building here is constructed of, as I looked it up, Georgia Cherokee white marble. So it's quite an impressive building. Mr. Zook should take, as he now no longer with us, should take credit in the fact that this is just a remarkable building that the city of St. Charles has been proud of for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. I have noticed the beautiful windows. They look like stained glass along the clock tower. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, if you go inside, there's a beautiful rotunda that I know, at least from the times that I took tours of elementary students through there, they just marvel at the rotunda and the stained glass that's inside. The clock and the chimes that no longer work were an original part of the tower. There still is a sound system up there that pipes some music into town, but not to the sophistication that it once was. I would point out, however, at the top, the lighting is now been revised. We have all LED lighting in there with a program that can put all kinds of combinations of colors up there, and we certainly use that as the seasons progress through St. Charles and the high school teams win or lose games and so on and so forth.
That's really cool. I love that feature. I know our city's original 1892 city building is located just behind this building, and it looks like they were connected at one point. Do you know when the buildings were linked together?
Yes. The old municipal building, as you said, on Riverside Drive, 1892, and of course the municipal building here was built in 1939. They were connected in 1995, and that's a result really basically of the Americans with Disabilities Act to make the building ADA accessible, with elevator now, and ramps. Before that was simply staircases in both of the buildings. And so to make it ADA compatible, that connector between the two buildings was built, and as the stone says, completed in 1995.
Excellent. So what kind of business is actually conducted here in this building?
Well, the building does house the city council chambers on the second floor right here. On the first floor we have the city administrator's office and the mayor's office. There's also 4 departments located here in this building: human resources, finance, economic development, and community development. Those 4 are in the building. The city has 4 other departments. The fire department sits right behind the municipal center here, and on top of the fire department on the 3rd floor we have technology. In addition to that, 2 other major departments of the city: the new police station, which is Central West on Main Street here. It was built in 2017. And down on Riverside Drive, the Public Works Complex.
Oh, yeah.
That is, of course, a very vital part of the city for a variety of reasons.
Yes, I've met some of the guys that work over there. They're very nice. I've also noticed there's a big display case on the front of the building, and I remember putting Girl Scout displays in there when I was very small. Like, what does that use
That
for?
display case is there for the public to use. You have to sign up ahead of time for announcements of various organizations' events. Right now we have an advertisement in there for the St. Patrick's Day Parade. But that varies as the seasons go on and as different events happen in St. Charles. And it's front and center right there in the front of the municipal building. And as you can hear now, there is some chiming going on up there in the tower.
Piped-in chimes.
Right.
Okay. Are there any interesting tidbits you'd like to share about this building?
Well, first of all, the office that Mayor Vitek now occupies, that I occupied, that Mayor DeWitt and Mayor Klinkhammer occupied, going back to Mayor Norris, that was the history museum of this community. And then it was decided the History Museum was going to go front and center up here on East Main where the old Texaco gas station is, and boy, they've done a remarkable job with that. And our history is well on display up there. I can't say enough about what the individuals that run the History Museum do. It's just really remarkable. But now, that's the mayor's office. And as far as interesting things, I will tell you this, that at one time, there was a remote line that ran across the river here. How, I don't know, but all I know is that people in the community had the benefit of listening to organ music and or concerts that emanated from the trophy room over here at the Hotel Baker. So that's probably one of the unique features. You also notice that Delora Norris' statue is on display in the front, designed by Ray Cobald of the city of St. Charles, who also did the Colonel Baker statue that's in front of the Hotel Baker. And it's a nice and a warranted tribute to a family that's provided quite a bit for the city here, and the fact that this is the people's building where things get done.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Rogina, for sharing your knowledge with the junior historians. Join me as I head inside and talk to our current mayor and learn a little bit more about what goes on in the mayor's office. I'm in the mayor's office with Mayor Lora Vitek, and it's a really beautiful space. You should stop in and see her sometime. Make sure to call ahead and schedule an appointment. Mayor Vitek, can you tell us how the mayor is selected?
Sure. So when you're 18 and you register to vote, you can vote in your local election. And if someone wants to become a mayor, they have to submit a petition. And so you have to have a certain amount of signatures from people that live in St. Charles that say, yes, you are okay to be on the ballot. And then after that happens, your name gets placed on a ballot, and then the residents of St. Charles go out and vote. And so that's how really the mayoral position is elected, as well as city council members and that are aldermen.
Oh, that's cool. So how long is the mayoral term? Is there a limit on how many times you can be reelected?
Yes, so the mayoral term is 4 years. And at this point, at least in the city of St. Charles, there aren't any term limits.
But there are usually, or there could be in other towns?
Yes, I think there can be in other towns. Okay. The mayor of Batavia is like the longest standing mayor in Illinois. But in St. Charles, after 4 years, if someone wants to become a mayor again, they have to go through the same process that they did to become it the first time.
Okay, excellent. So what exactly does the mayor do?
Well, a lot more than people think, I think. The mayor basically, at least in my experience, and I've been doing this for just 8 or 9 months now, I come to the office mostly every day, and I work with the city administrator and then the team here in this office, and we basically go through what the rules are of the city. If we want to establish a new rule, we would identify what that is and bring it to our alderman to make a decision. I also get to plan things like what the vision is for the city. So all of the growth and things that are happening in places like downtown St. Charles or on the east and west side, those are things that I get to be involved in and establish the direction we want to head. So it's a very cool job.
Yeah.
It requires strategy and, of course, being outgoing and getting to know people, to have conversations with the community to see what they want.
Definitely good communication skills seems like
Yes,
very important.
definitely.
So I believe you're the second woman to be elected for mayor in St. Charles, and since our founding in 1834. Is there anything you'd like to share with our viewers, especially girls, who about getting into politics?
Yes, many things I'd like to share. So any girls out there, if you ever have an interest in wanting to know what a mayor does or how to be elected to a position, I'd be happy to talk with anyone who wants to. I'm extremely passionate at helping young females get involved in the community, whether that's working with a not-for-profit organization, volunteering, or certainly helping our community. I encourage everyone to get involved. It's never too early, you're never too young to want to help your community, so anyone's welcome to contact me at any time.
That's great. Are there any fun activities you get to do as your duty as mayor?
Well, I get to do this,
Yeah.
and this is kind of fun. I do like to talk to people, and I like to go out in the community and learn more about different organizations. There's times that I get to give people tours of this building, which I think is fun. I get to talk with school groups. I get to do things with the local schools, community organizations, things with the library. That's probably the most fun for me, is being able to go out and talk to people in the community.
Do you get to do ribbon cuttings?
I do.
And use those giant pair of scissors?
I have been able to use them on occasion.
That's really exciting.
Yes, that's fun too. When a new business comes to town or a new organization, I'm able to welcome them to come. And I just did one yesterday, and it's fun to really work with people who are excited to be in St. Charles and welcome them to the community.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so
Yeah.
much fun. I think that's all the questions I have. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, just to all children out there, if there's ever any question you have about the city or about what a mayor does, or if you're part of a group and you just want to come talk to me, I'd be happy to do that. And as you mentioned, certainly, as Darcy mentioned, set up an appointment, and I'd be happy to come talk to you.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Mayor Vitek, for letting us come into the office and taking your time from your busy schedule to meet with us. If you're interested in learning more about St. Charles government, visit stcharlesil.gov. Now join me as I head to the St. Charles History Museum and talk to Lindsay Judd, the director, about some museum holdings.
Welcome back to the St. Charles History Museum. Here on display is one of the original light fixtures along the river right by the Municipal building. This light fixture, as well as the Municipal building, were both designed by architect Zook. A cool thing about his architectural design is that he always included a spider web into his designs. Whether it was a home or something like the Municipal building, you can see a spider web pattern built into the facade or the way that the brick is laid. However he wanted to do it, there was always a spider web included in his design. So for the Municipal building, if you go inside the big tower and look up, you will see that there are spider web designs throughout the glass. So here on display, we've got the original fixture that was along the river. Right now, they've been redone, so they look a little bit different than this, but this one here in the exhibit lights up. It turns different colors. So if you are in the neighborhood, come on by to the museum and check it out. We are now in the Colonel Anderson Research Room here at the St. Charles History Museum. And here I have pulled a few artifacts from our collection that have to do with some of our past mayors. The first one is a campaign booklet for Ivor Langham, who ran for mayor in the 1940s. This includes not only his letter to the people of St. Charles, but also all of the people that he recommends for aldermen and different offices here in St. Charles. So this is kind of something that we don't really see much anymore. You know, we see the yard signs, we see, you know, banners throughout town, but back then they did an entire booklet to promote their campaign for mayor. Mayor Langham was the first mayor to be in the Municipal building, and Langham Park, which used to be Camp Kane, is also named after Mayor Langham. We also have here a seed packet for the flower called Forget-Me-Not, and there is a reason they chose this specific flower. Down at the bottom, you can see it says, on April 12th, 1960, nominate C.V. Amenhof, and that was for state representative, but he was also one of St. Charles's mayors. And the reason they chose Forget-Me-Not as the flower is because they didn't want you to forget his name, so that way you would vote for him. Mayor Amenhof was responsible for installing the 4 bronze fox statues along the Main Street Bridge, and he's the one that introduced the legend of Charlemagne. Our third item that we have here has to do with Mayor Fred Norris, who was mayor during the 1990s. This is a certificate from Safety Town. I don't know if you guys remember Safety Town or not, but it was part of the Park District, and it helped kids learn how to not drive, but to understand traffic patterns and how to be safe on the roads. So Mayor Fred Norris got involved with that, and they presented him with this certificate. Thank you so much for joining us here at the St. Charles History Museum. And if you guys want to learn more about the history of St. Charles, visit the St. Charles History Museum's website.